Welcome to Film and Page. I'm Dominic, and this is another episode of Road to Dune. So we got some Dune news. It seems Dune is doing very well on video on demand. This article is from IndieWire. Post HBO Max rollout, both Dune and The Matrix Resurrections thrive on VOD. VOD charts both verged and varied this week, as a record low 14 titles accounted for all 30 slots on the 3 top 10s. Among those titles, however, a record high 7 placed on 3 different VOD lists, though each of them, iTunes, Google Play, and Vudu, disagreed on which film was really number 1. Dune, The Matrix Resurrections, and Ghostbusters Afterlife each shared the top spot among iTunes and Google Play, which rate by transactions, and Vudu, which calculates money spent to buy or rent. Both Dune and The Matrix Resurrections previously streamed on HBO Max day and date per Warner Brothers deal, but this strong showing on the VOD charts points to an intriguing post-HBO Max future for both titles. Denis Villeneuve's Dune just dropped its price to $5.99. It has placed on the charts since it went to PVOD 2 weeks after it left HBO Max, but had so far never reached number 1. Now iTunes lists it in the top slot, with other VOD outfits placing it in 5th and 6th. With the Oscar nominations looming, it seems audiences are curious to check out what could be a big contender at this year's awards. So here it is on iTunes, number 1 at $5.99. And then here we see it on Google Play. It's at number 5 for $5.99. And then Vudu. It is $19.99 on there. Oh, maybe that must be the sale price. That can't be rental price. So interesting bit of information, seeing how Dune is doing in its aftermarket, and and I don't know how it performed on Blu-ray DVD. I did pick it up, but I don't know if it had high sales figures or what, but it seems to be doing good here in this market anyway. Now, as I've been covering Dune on my channel, and people who've watched all these Road to Dune videos, I've gone on about this ad nauseum. Now, that one of my biggest fears with this film was that it would not make enough money to justify Warner Brothers going forward with the second half, with the sequel. And that was the biggest fear I had with Denis Villeneuve not making this movie, not doing the movies like back to back, like they did Lord of the Rings. Because then if the first one bombs, you don't get the second half of the story, and it's not like it's one complete story that you can watch and then the other one's not connected. It's basically one movie split in half. So then you got like half of a Dune movie. So that was my biggest fear. Now that the sequel has been greenlit, we're getting part 2. Now for the sequel, that's not going to be a concern if it doesn't make huge numbers and we don't get more Dune films. I'll be disappointed in some sense. Not really, but in some sense I'll be disappointed, because I'll just be really happy to have one really well done Dune film. And because if they do the other ones, I mean, Denis Villeneuve said he would do the sequels, but how far can you go with that? And would that work better as a TV series to continue on the rest of the novels? Because I got a hard job seeing, like God Emperor being a film that would work in the theaters and people would go see. I think that would work better if it was part of a season that was part of a Dune TV series that covered the rest of the books. I don't know, I might be wrong about that. But I mean, they did it with Stargate. They had a feature film, then they just did some recasting to the series, and the series actually eclipsed the movie. The series is much more better remembered than what the film was. I mean, they could do the same thing here. They could just do some recasting, and they'd only need to do that for a few seasons anyway, because most of those characters would have been eliminated. Because after Children of Dune, most of the characters that are in the first Dune book are gone, except for Duncan Idaho. So interesting stuff to see how it's doing in this aftermarket. And the other thing, though, with the day and date release, when it was out on HBO Max, I know it didn't make huge numbers in the theater, and I was almost pretty sure we weren't going to get that second film, but we got the news came pretty quick, and I was really relieved to get that news that we were going to get that movie. So it must have done good on that day and date release on HBO Max. How you would get those numbers, I have no idea. But it must have they must have seen that it was worthwhile to keep going with the second film, and I'm really glad they did. So that's everything I got to say in this video. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and I will see you at the next one. I'd like to say thank you to all of my subscribers. I appreciate you all in helping this channel grow. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded.